In Orus Hill, anyone who mentions the Wu family must be a little bit in awe, but Mr. Wade doesn't pay attention to the Wu family at all. Qin Gang came back to his senses and quickly said, "Mr. Wade, don't worry, all of us will be tight-lipped for you. If the Wu family really finds out that it is you and the trouble to find you, we will not agree." Charlie smiled and said, "You don't need to be so nervous. If they want to get revenge, just let them come. When will they be afraid of Charlie?" Charlie said with a smile, "By the way, you can actually tell them directly that this is what I did. If he is unconvinced, let him come to me directly." Qin Gang quickly said, "Mr. Wade, I know you definitely don't take Wu family in your eyes, but Wu family's status and strength in Orus Hill are still very powerful. If you really become enemies with them, it will be very troublesome in the future." After speaking, Qin Gang said again, "Mr. Wade, I still recommend you to keep a low profile in this matter. Don't let the Wu family find out. Otherwise, you will inevitably have trouble in the future." Charlie smiled and said, "Ms. Qin, you are interesting, but you don't need to care too much about this. When the time comes, soldiers will come to cover the water and earth, let it go." "Okay." Qin Gang hurriedly said again, "By the way, Mr. Wade, the Wu family had a treat today. There is actually one more thing." Charlie asked, "What's the matter?" Qin Gang said, "The Wu family seems to want to marry Roger, the young son of Regnar, to Ms. Warnya, but according to Regnar, Miss Song has publicly stated to him that she already has someone she likes, so the Wu family still wants us to find that person too." With that, Qin Gang asked tentatively, "Mr. Wade, Miss Song likes that person, isn't it you?" Charlie paused slightly and said, "Don't talk nonsense about this kind of thing. I'm a married man. If this kind of thing is talked about nonsense and spread out, it will have a great impact on the reputation of other girls." Qin Gang hurriedly said, "Mr. Wade, forgive me. I will never say anything like this in the future." "Yeah." Charlie said lightly, "Okay, you three don't have to worry about me. Do whatever you should do. Don't take it too seriously. It's just a Wu family, but I can't help it." In fact, Charlie knew very well in his heart that Warnya must have some good feelings about him. It's just that he didn't know how to deal with this kind of affection, so he just pretended to be dumb and froze, and talked about the other things later. The next day, Regnar got up early. Because he was worried about looking for Tianqi to treat his second son Wu Qi, he didn't sleep well all night. Wu Qi's current situation is relatively pessimistic. The problem of eating shish tea has not been alleviated, and his own emotions have gradually collapsed. In other words, for such a long time, eating shish tea more than 20 times a day, he will collapse one day for sure. What's more, Wu Qi himself had grown up spoiled, and this kind of thing was even more terrifying to him than death. Therefore, Regnar hopes that he can be cured as soon as possible, so that he can return to normal, and at the same time, to kill the person who harmed him, not only for revenge, but also for the permanent trouble solving. Because of this belief, Regnar didn't even care about having breakfast at the Song's house, so he greeted his son Roger when he went to bed, took a few Wu's bodyguards, and went directly to clinic. In the car, Regnar was full of excitement and expectation, but Roger felt a little bored. He even hopes that his brother Wu Qi will always be like this and save himself a lot of trouble. So he asked tentatively, "Dad, do you think that the doctor can really cure the younger brother?" "I believe there is no problem." Regnar said indifferently, "If high paraplegia can be cured, I believe this problem with your brother is not a problem." Roger nodded, feeling a little upset. When the convoy arrived outside clinic, the bodyguard opened the door for Regnar and his son. As soon as Regnar got out of the car, he saw the entrance of the clinic. A long line had already been queued. He couldn't help sighing. It seems that this genius doctor is really well deserved. An assistant came up and said respectfully, "Mr. Orville, Tianqi only sees 10 patients every day, and it is not in the order of the line, but according to the severity of the disease. It is said that some are ranked first. Tianqi feels that there is no problem. If you don't need to do it yourself, you won't be shown." Instead, it's recommended to go to other hospitals. Yeah. Ragnar glanced at the long line again. Seeing that there are 3 teachers and 9 ranks, he waved his hand in disgust and said to the bodyguard, "Take some cash from the trunk and give these people in line 1,000 each. Make them go away." The bodyguard nodded, immediately took some advanced from the trunk, came to the front of the team, and said loudly, "The clinic is closed today. Those of you who are in line, one person comes to me to collect 1,000, and then you can leave. Come back another day." The crowd was suddenly dissatisfied, and someone shouted, "Why? Following the rules set by the genius, anyone has to queue for treatment." The leader of the bodyguard snorted coldly, and cursed, "I gave you thousands for nothing. Are you still FC King here?" The man blurted out, 1,000? My mother is seriously ill, and I took her all the way to ask the genius doctor for help. Do you count this 1,000 as a bullshit? How about I give you 1,000 and you go away, is it okay? Grass mudhorse, don't give me your face. The head of the bodyguard glared at him, and snorted coldly to the men next to him. Beat that bee at start for me.